Alright, welcome to another video. We've been up to all sorts this week, so keep watching and we'll keep you up to date. Try not to make it too long. Remember, if you've got any questions, please put it in the comments or DM us or however else you can do it on YouTube. I'm still learning. If you've got any suggestions as well, please feel free to let me know. I'd be really interested to know what people's views are and everything on how to make the videos better. So yeah, enjoy. It's Tuesday afternoon, just come down for a bit of a quick look around, see what's going on. We've got a fantastic show on the start of the sunflowers. You just see here, it's really starting to kind of turn a shade of green. It seems like not too much has been eaten, which is really good. To put these in, we ploughed up the area, then got the cultivator over it to rough it up, and then used the broadcast spreader just to push behind one like you'd use with lawn feed. I thought that was going to be the easiest one rather than putting the one onto the back of the tractor, because that one might have thrown everything a bit too far, I think. So we only had a relatively narrow area, as you can see there. So we got them in, and then I just rolled it with the Cambridge rolls, which is why it's got all these ridges in it. That's each one of the discs gives that, rather than that area. When I walk down there, you'll see that's very smooth rolled, because I used my little smooth roller on that. So the Cambridge roll just put the pressure on to get the seed to soil contact. It's the water's kind of done its job. You can still see the darkness in there, that it's still moist just under the surface, which is absolutely fantastic. Just next to the sunflowers, where the couple have gone across, is the start of our row crops, and these are Brussels sprouts in these. We've never grown Brussels sprouts before, so we're giving it a bit of a go. It's going to be something to try and extend the season a bit longer. Here we go, I've just found an absolutely decent one. So just there, I guess you can see it there, that one all the way along the row, there, one missing there. They're just starting to show now. I think everything did go in a little deeper than intended, because I hadn't adjusted the drill, which, if you saw the comments up on social media, that I wanted to not do that in case something broke. Now, when I did try to adjust it before I put some rows in just that way, it did break, so we had to get that fixed by the local friendly mechanic who's just on the farmyard. So the Brussels sprouts, once they're finished, I think they'll be about this kind of height somewhere. They should be absolutely fantastic to see. And we've got really long lines of them. I think we've got 12 rows, maybe 13 rows. We put 8 in previously, and then just recently, when I noticed the pumpkins weren't going to take up quite as much room as I thought, put in another couple of rows, which are these. So there's nothing showing in these ones yet. We are going to put in more rows of crop. I've just put another order in for some more seeds, so we're going to try some carrots and some parsnips. Well, we've got parsnips in anyway. There is parsnips in an area over there. I'm going to try and put a bit more in and see if we can sell a bit of veg. We've got a local supplier who sells pork, who's just up the road in Derby. Absolutely fantastic pork. We've got a space in their honesty box, and they also sell eggs. They don't sell the pork in the honesty box, they've got the eggs in the honesty box. So we've just got a basket in there where we've been selling the leftover turnips we've got, and then we'll be putting bits and pieces of veg in as it comes. We are also going to be growing some salad leaves, some lettuce, which is going to be really nice if we can get it all to grow outside. I'm just a little concerned about things being eaten, but we're working that out as it goes. The pumpkins which we're planting are all in, other than a small area which the school did. So the school is going to do, sorry. They're down on Friday, so you can barely see them unless you look really close. You're looking closer there, but down there we've got a good distance down the field is planted up. They're all in there nicely, seem to be growing quite well. One or two got a little bit of a wilting on, so we could just do with a bit of rain, which heaven forbid I'm actually asking for rain, because Enna will be cursing for us, just to keep them watered. We do have a system to water them if need be, but I really want to avoid doing that because it'd be just nicer just to let kind of nature take its course. There is still dampness in the soil. It's a nice dark soil. It's quite a heavy soil, which gives us the advantage when it does get really hot in summer, which if it's anything like the last couple of days have been, it's quite likely to do. The heavy soil will hold the moisture rather than a light soil, which is very sandy. That dries out very easily, so we shouldn't have too many issues with that. So just here, some of these are doing really well. Very big leaves on them. These are a little bit closer together than what we put the seed, but just here, this area that we've got left here is going to be for the local school, so they're going to come down on Friday afternoon and we're going to plant the pumpkins with them. So a couple of weeks back I went in and we took some trays, some compost, a selection of different seeds, and we went through why we grow them, what depth we grow them, and with the agreement that they would then do a little bit of work about it. They'd look after them, grow them on really nice for us, and then as soon as they got up to a decent height, they'll come down and plant them. Well, as it turns out, they're actually really big. They've gone really leggy because they've been grown in a window, so that's kind of interesting for them to see, and it'll be really interesting when they see the difference between the ones which we've planted here, which are really stumpy with big leaves, and theirs which have gotten really tall with relatively decent sized leaves but not too big, nothing like some of these ones down here. So they're going to go into that area. I'm going to keep that penned off, so when it comes round to the season in October, end of October, start of November, just in time for Hopchinay or Halloween, they can come down and they'll know which ones are theirs. And they've got a right variety of different pumpkins. They've got white ones, they've got tiny little harlequins, which are really nice. You get a black harlequin and a green and a white harlequin. They were one of my favourite last year with those. They've got Jackby Littles, which are just a little normal coloured pumpkin, orange pumpkin, but they grow on a vine, so you get quite a lot of them. What else did they grow? I don't know, they might have actually had some of the Atlantic Giant, which I think I did mention on one of the other videos, that some of these which I've put in fact one of them down there is an Atlantic Giant. I think the rest have gone up that way. You don't get many seeds with them, so there's only a few, so we're going to have to see if we could try and kind of keep on top of that and make sure they're nice. But really happy, everything's growing. It'll look, well, at the moment it looks like a brown field. There's not really much to show. Over there, just having a few issues with a couple of things coming up, so I might get across there later in the week, but I just wanted to kind of see where we are at this point. On Friday I'll see if I could get any kind of bits and pieces of the kids planting, but there won't be any pictures of the children. Obviously that's we don't want to be doing that. So yeah, we're kind of getting there. You know, the weather's good. I need to do a bit of grass cutting. Everything's getting a bit long down here. We've put a bit of stone in the entranceway so that's going to be a bit nicer, and there's a lovely gate which needs a bit of attention, so I'm going to try and get that cleaned up and fixed because it needs a bit of work on it. I'm keeping an eye out for anything for the first pumpkin seed to show. As I said, you can see that this is much smoother, so this was done with a smooth roller rather than the Cambridge roller. I didn't want to bring the big tractor down, and the big Cambridge rollers are too heavy for the my little tractor to pull, so I just wanted to give a bit of pressure down. I've actually put in on this bottom edge some wildflower seeds, so I don't know if anything's showing on there. I only put them in last week, so probably not. It was just a little area that had not a lot going in on it, well, not a lot going on in it, and so I decided to just sprinkle a bit of wildflower seeds on it, which would be fantastic for the birds and the bees, so that they can come and give us a little bit of help with the pollination. No signs of... There's a couple of things growing, but I'm not quite sure if they're weeds yet. So it's just this little area, this little rough area you can see next to where it's been rolled, and that area is obviously where the shade from the trees has just helped keep the moisture in. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the pumpkins develop as well, because we have got this boundary of trees which is on the old farm drive, So just to see where how the sunlight affects them, because it is the sunlight which turns them orange as far as I know. I'm kind of doing my research as it goes along. We're currently at the 16th of May now. We have got a lot of stuff in. We are working, so there's a book called the Henry Stevens Book of the Farm. Now it's based, if you've seen the TV series Victorian Farm, that's what they work from. Now I've bought the abridged version of it, and it's all designed to basically make farming so everyone works the same. And in that they get on about turnips or Swedes, and everything has to be in. If you haven't planted your turnips by the 15th, there's issues, they're not going to grow right. Well, all our turnips were in way before that, which is absolutely fantastic, so it'd be really nice to see how they go. I've been talking to a couple of the old boys, farmers around here, and they remember as kids thinning the turnips at TT. So TT, if you don't know, if you're not from the Isle of Man, is a big motorbike race which happens. Race week is the first full week in June, whereas they've got practice week before that. So I'm guessing first full week of June we should be thinning turnips down, which would be quite nice because they've all been planted about this far apart, and they need to be around about that far apart, so a couple of inch on them. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see. Oh, here we go, talking about turnips, there we go. Something obviously went a bit wrong with the drill here, so there's a big scutch of them. Now that is a little worrying, there's so many there, so we'll have to see if anything comes up, because this is it. I'm using very old pieces of equipment which I don't really know if they're working all right, so if something's got potentially clogged up, that could result in a bit of a few issues. So we'll see. It's a giant learning curve, and I'm taking you guys along for the journey. Just walking in there. This is originally where the pumpkins were, in this area. Now I've got some other bits and pieces in which don't seem to be doing too well. A couple of lettuces here, we planted them as plugs, so I've grown them on. They don't seem to be any bigger than what they were when they went in as plugs, so we might have to rethink that one. We do seem to have a lot of potatoes growing, which is funny because there's no potatoes in this area. Now these rows here had carrots and parsnips in. Now there is actually, that's a carrot, one carrot growing there. Not too many signs of any others, so this might all get ploughed back up. Can't see anything there. Now I'm just about to receive another order of seeds, because we only had a bit of carrot seed, so I tried my best to, there's a couple of carrots across here in this area, tried my best to put some in with what I had, so we'll have to go maybe back to the drawing board and re-ridge this. We're having a bit of an issue with weeds. There's some fairly well established weeds in here, the docks and the likes. Now as I say, we're growing to organic principles, so we're not going to be using pesticides, herbicides. Obviously pesticides slightly different, and we're not going to be using them neither. So just before anyone comments, we're not using pesticides, herbicides or fungicides. So a couple of issues with weeds. This has had the weeder over it, the weeding tool we've got, but the weeding tool we've got doesn't actually weed the ridge, it just weeds the edges of the ridge. So just taking a little bit of kind of working out. This is the first time I've done this. We planted some onions, so on this very green and weedy ridge, you can see them there. They're going to be good, hopefully, if they come up. And there is some peas and beans, which was just some seed I had left over from maybe a year or so ago, I think, to be honest. It was sat in the pickup, so I thought, hey, why not? So I put that in. Still got plenty of lovely yellow flowers. Really interested to see the seed pods are starting on it. You can actually feel the seeds inside them. That's quite cool. What am I going to do with these? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think there's going to be much getting harvested out of these now, so we'll look to do something. Well, whether I try and get the seed out of it, I don't know, or do I cut them down prior to the seed? We'll work it out. And these ridges here, we put some potatoes in. That they are growing, they're just starting to show. And funnily, a couple of years since there was potatoes in this field, So here in this section, which is supposed to be sunflowers, there's potatoes growing. Now they're volunteers, so they're what grew from last year's crop. Now there is a couple of sunflowers coming up in here, but not an awful lot, so it could be a bit bare. So that might take a bit of thinking about. This bit did get absolutely ravaged by the chickens, so we'll see. And obviously at this point we're at the opposite side. So the other videos have been from across there on the new area. This is the old area. So yeah, I'm just having a wander around. I'm going to go mowing. I've got the school down here tomorrow, so I just wanted it to look a bit nicer for them. So I've just got the ear defenders here so I can listen to a bit of music. So yeah, we'll get back to you soon. Just trying to fix this little John Deere tractor we've got here. We got this for a really good price. Well, I got it for a really good price because it needed a little bit of work on it. So just trying to do them little bits and pieces of jobs. And at the moment it wasn't working right, so we just managed to get throttle cables freed up on it, which I thought I was going to have to replace. I've ended up not having to, which is good. Just trying to get the throttle cable mounts back on, which is proving to be a little bit difficult. Is that on? Yeah, that's on. Right. So yeah, and then hopefully everything seems to be working on that. I don't know if that's quite on the right setting, but we'll find out when we fire it up. Just have to take the battery out for a bit. So it's a tiny little John Deere, is it? A little rotavator and a loader on it. It's kind of a bit of a laugh. It's not a commercial tractor by any state. It is old. It's from 1972, which is absolutely fantastic. So it's really simple. We've put a new spark plug in it. We just had the carb cleaned out on it here as well. It does have a leak in the hydraulics on the front, so I do need to work that one out. It's a little bit rusty, but no, it does the job. You know, it's good. Rotavator. We're just trying to kind of turn this area over, and then I've got an area in the field I want to try and do today to get that ready for when the school arrives. So, which will be this afternoon. So we'll give it a go. We'll see how it starts and go from there. Kind of works. Kind of not at the same time. I don't know if that should be on the upper hole. So it's Friday today, and the local school's coming down. It's also the end of Mental Health Awareness Week, so one of the local charities on the island has asked people to wear green. So currently in one of the very old work t-shirts and sporting my green hockey socks. So I thought that was the best thing. Yeah, so the school's on the way down. I've just been down with the tractor to pick up the pumpkins that they've grown, which are so impressive. They're really good. They've grown really tall in the window at school, so they're going to be here in about 10 minutes. Just going to walk down and meet them as they're walking from the school to here, and then we're going to get the pumpkins planted. So it's absolutely fantastic to be involved with the school and have them involved with this. We've done a little area for them to plant them in, where when it comes to harvesting time we'll be able to know which ones were theirs, which will be really cool to see how they've done. So yeah, I'll try and get a couple of clips of plantings and see how we go from there. Slow camera.
Cool. Oh no.
That's it, you know, you created the hole. Okay, whose turn is it to...
Right, it's mine. Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Fine.
Is that?
We've already done one.
That looks
two
lovely.
hands either side of it.
Yeah, just kind of like go around them with your fingers.
That's it, good. Lift her out, look after it, be careful. You don't want to damage anything. Okay, slot it in there.
There?
Yeah.
There.
No, there. That's it, that's fine.
Brilliant.
It was already broken.
Get it upright.
Point it upright.
Yeah.
And push it down.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. And then, like I say, your next one would be about here.
Yep.
Well, just had the school group here, and they've done a wonderful job. Absolute pleasure to have them. Really, really nice. Lots of good questions. So they've planted their pumpkins here. They're looking a little bit worse for wear from being handled, but we'll give them a little drink of water and see how they come up, and we'll go from there. So it's nice. That's kind of filled in that area. We're going to mark this up so when it comes around to time to come and buy them, the kids will know where they've done. I've just helped them go back down, carrying the stuff in the trailer that they needed. So yeah, really good. Now I don't know if I'll get a video in tomorrow, but I'll get everything put together. It's Friday today, so I think this is the end of the week there. Could really do with a bit of rain. We had a little bit last night, but not much, to be honest. So it's now on with working out where to go next on things, what to plant next, where to plant it. We've still got this area here and the other side of there. So we've got more veggies and stuff to go in and just see how it goes from there. But yeah, really excited. Good times, things growing, lots of seeds. The kids counted 60 seeds growing as they walked along the bottom area where I posted that short about us finding them. And it was really interesting just to hear their kind of like points on what they think, and really interesting questions as well. So hopefully get this video sorted out at the weekend, and then we'll be into next week and see where we're at from there. Thank you very much.